think I'm live. Okay. Hi, this is Stephanie, uh, otherwise known as Watercolor Artiste and midlifeartist.com. Uh, and I'm doing another impromptu live stream. I want to say a special hello to my artist corner friends from True Social. You guys are the best. You're my online artist family. And I know you crashed my live stream last time on Rumble, and I am so grateful. Thank you. I'm so glad it worked out. Anyway, and so I'm doing another live stream, one to practice setting it up, and also to share recent news and share what I'm trying to do. So welcome to my Rumble audience and to my YouTube audience. My YouTube audience is skeleton-like, but I won't say that out loud. And I think I got my hello, my wireless mic working. Anyway, whew, it's the day after my birthday, so thank you to everyone who wished me well on my birthday. I had a good day. It was just a normal day. Um, I worked. Um, I did the normal stuff, nothing fancy. We kind of did our birthday thing a little while ago. Ron got me some crackle paste and some fiber paste for my artistic endeavors, and I'm going to show where I use those. As well as Sunday, tomorrow, we're getting together with family because my sister-in-law shares the same birth date, although she gets to be 5 years younger than me. But we're we're like blood sisters, and I'm grateful to have her in my life. So I'm looking forward to getting together tomorrow to celebrate our respective birthdays. Um, but in any case, took my glasses off because suddenly I was getting hot. Oh, the old menopause. And there I am dating myself. In terms of birthday, I'm in my 50 something years old. And so in any case, I just wanted to let you know that I'm grateful for those of you joining me. And if you are willing to take a chance on this small, piddly little channel, um, I am endeavoring to do more content and eventually get better at it, God willing, and provide good content. So if you're willing, you're able, you wanna, give this girl a little encouragement, this midlife artist, I'd appreciate the encouragement. Please like and subscribe. Please feel free to comment. Again, like the other live stream, I don't have the chat up. So I can't interact right now with the chat because I'm just not that talented nor skilled when it comes to this kind of streaming thing. I'm going to work on figuring that out, taking some more YouTube lessons or Rumble lessons, whatever, wherever I can find the, videography or live streaming for dummies channel. That's what I'm looking for. So if you have a recommendation for that, please put it down in the comments so that I can check back later. So thank you again. I'm hoping everything's showing up. I did put a timer on so I could not go on and on. Anyway, I'm going to put my glasses back on. Hopefully, I won't fog them up. Oh, I can see myself now. All right, great. Anyway, so the theme of this live stream is twofold. Uh, One is I've got some recent news, and two, um, I am prepping to do something I've never done before, and there's a lot to do, a lot of logistics, a lot of planning, and unfortunately, some sizable investment that as I work on my spreadsheet of capturing costs. Yes, I'm a businesswoman by day in terms of a business professional. I don't operate my own business other than my part-time artist, personal artist thing going on here, and that's part-time. But during the day, I play a senior buyer planner by day, and I play an artist by night, and both of which I have experience in. I have a degree in art, so I have some skills, but I've never operated in some things, and so I know how to capture costs. And as I'm doing it, it's a little scary how much I'm investing in some of these upcoming events that I've never done before. And so I'm praying for a payoff. And so as I talk about these things, if it's something you as an artist have done in the past and have succeeded with, uh, then if you've got any advice for me, I'm willing to take any and all advice that has proof of concept, proof of success. Um, I don't. I've got precious little time being a full-time professional during the work weeks and doing part-time art work and art-related business at night. So I do a lot of my stuff at night. And this is Saturday day. I just got done giving my dog Jackpot a bath. I change clothes because usually when I give him a bath, I get the bath too. And my husband helps, and so he's probably a little damp too. But he's smelling good now, Jackpot, and his nails are ground down, so he's not scratching. So big shout out to my dog Jackpot, who hates it but deals with it. Um, and when we go over to family tomorrow for our celebratory birthday get together, he won't stink. So hey, it's a win-win for everybody. But in any case, I wanted to share with you news first. News is that I had submitted, this would be my third year participating. Thankfully, I was accepted with some of my artworks to the Creative Arts Guild Art Festival, which they're renaming for this year as Art Fest. And they have a exhibition for the 3-day weekend event in September, as well as outdoor events around their facility and inside their facility for vendors of food, crafts, artists, artisans, craftspeople. I don't do the vendor tent thing there because, one, I've never done it before. I focus mainly on trying to exhibit artwork in their exhibition hall for the event. And you get to submit up to 6 art pieces. And if you follow me on social media, particularly either Truth Social or Facebook, which are my more popular social media sites to be active on, you might have seen me post about it just on July 31st, which was the deadline, which pieces that I submitted. Today I got notice that 3 of my 6 pieces were accepted. And I thought I'd share those with you now to show you what I did get accepted. And if I can, I may show you what wasn't accepted. And I'm okay no matter what, because what isn't accepted, I'm going to show in my tent events coming up in the coming months as practice and prelude to hopefully, cross your fingers, and pray and well wishing that maybe I can get into the artist fair that takes place in Greenville, South Carolina come May. That's got an early October deadline to submit for. That's the big event that I'm doing a lot of investing in now that you'll see what I'm doing. But let me go ahead and switch over to another view here that I'm going to show, not that one. We're going to do that one. And we're going to turn off that one. Okay. Yeah, you don't need to see my big face here, but I'm going to show you my artwork. Hopefully you can hear me okay. But in any case, I'm going to zoom in. I've got this handy dandy webcam I finally figured out how to use. Hey! And I've got a remote that zooms it in for me. So, okay. So one of the artworks that I got is this one, which I called Fractured, and it's a multi mixed media. It's 22 by 26 on canvas, and it is an abstract realism painting that I did. And yeah, I don't know if you can, let me see if the zoom's going to come in a little bit on her face. Probably not enough, but if you see here, there's some lines that come across her face. I did this originally um, I started off with acrylic. So the whole background is acrylic, the midground here, and she being in the foreground, all started off as abstract acrylic background with some realistic elements that you can relate to here. And then I brought her in more with acrylic, but then I used tape across some of her features, and I came in on the untaped portions and redefined using oil. And once that's dried, I took off the tape. Thankfully, it was tape that I used. I took some of the sticky off by applying it to my clothing, which kind of helps deteriorate the sticky factor so it doesn't lift up any paint. And it came out successful. So when you're up close on this painting, you're going to see that it looks fractured. And that's why I called it fractured. But she's also looking up. And I was leaning towards maybe calling it Where Does My Help Come From? But that's kind of a long title. But yeah, this is again 22 by 26 mixed media. This made it in. I'm going to show you the next one, which made it in, which is my most recent painting that I did intentionally anyway. And this is what I call not New Horizons, but New Frontiers. Uh, um, this is an abstract surrealism kind of painting. Let's see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. I'll zoom in on this section here because otherwise I'd have to go over to the camera and adjust it. But you can see there's a square, triangle, and then a circle here. And those are a different dimension that has sea life in it. And in the background is a space landscape, a moon landscape, a planetary landscape. And what you see here, and you can touch it when you're here in person, sorry, you can't, but I can, is the use of crackle paste as well as fiber paste that I did. And then I came in and painted over it. So it's actually very tactile. I do have to finish by varnishing this. I just got to make sure that I use a varnish that works well with the gold uh, paper. I'm losing the term right now on the spot. But in any case, this is also 22 by 26 gallery wrapped canvas. This made it in to the Arts Festival. Thank goodness. And then the last one that made it, the third piece, I'm going to grab it up here, is a charcoal drawing that I did. And I'm going to just bring this forward rather than zoom it in. But this is a charcoal drawing that I did that I called Almost There, because the viewer is essentially traversing the path coming out of the dark forest. And you can symbolize that any way you want as an observer of this artwork. But this is going to get framed and it's accepted into the festival. So I'm proud of that as well. I wish all of my pieces had made it in. I'll show you which ones did not. I submitted oil pastel, my bumblebee. Now, if you've followed me or Lady Hamilton art on Rumble, she does some paint, sip and paint live streams. And the first one she did with us artists, this is the piece of artwork that I did in oil pastel, the bumblebee on a flower. I didn't know what to do, so I just found a royalty-free image on pexels.com, and I chose a subject matter for which I usually have a phobia of flying, stinging things. So I'm sadistic, I guess, to myself. I don't know, but I'm actually pretty proud of this for having done it in about the space of an hour, hour and a half, something like that. And so this is a 12 by 12 window of an oil pastel bumblebee on a flower. This did not make it, but I'm going to get this framed, and it's going to be in my tent events that are forthcoming. I did not submit my cherry oil pastel, uh, but I like it anyway. I'm going to get that framed. It's going to go in my tents as well. And then let's see what else. Oh, my two big. I'm a little upset my watercolor didn't make it. This is my watercolor and gouache volcano caldera. Um, it's 18 by 24, so it's one of my biggest watercolors that I've ever done, and I struggled with it. So I wanted it to make it, but it did not. This will get framed to go in my tent events. And then the last one that didn't make it was this embrace, which I'm not surprised. This is a charcoal drawing, 18 by 24, um, of an embrace inspired by a popular TV show, um, and it's charcoal. So this will get framed and go on my tent events as well. Um, and then if I get brave enough and figure out how to do shipping for framed art that successfully makes it through transit, these things may make it onto my art shop at midlifeartist.com for sale. But right now, they're not because they're not prepped for shipment in the state that they're in. So, and I don't have shipment costs are running expensive. I know this from my day job. And so I can't offer free shipping on it unless I incorporate it into the entire cost. So that's the news. So the artworks that are accepted, I have to finish my final preparations, varnish, things like that, and then I have to drop them off at the appropriate time, and they'll be in the show on that September 19th through 21st in Northwest Georgia for the Creative Arts Guild. And so I'm pretty proud of what I did make it in. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. Uh, Again, what doesn't make it in is okay because it'll go in my uh, my tent events. I'm gonna switch my view here. So at this point, that's my news. I have other news, personal, but can't really share it. So it's okay though. Anyway, uh, so yeah, I've there's another local event coming up in September on that same weekend actually, but it's only like a 4-hour event that's outside. And I thought that would be a good introductory or practice run for me setting up a tent in preparation for maybe May at Artisphere in Greenville, South Carolina. That's going to be a travel. That's going to be a big event if I make it. It's juried and it's expensive to get into even after you get through the acceptance process. If you get through the acceptance process, then so I'm doing a lot of faith stepping here. if you're um, if you're a Christian and you walk a walk of faith, then that faith without works is dead. And uh, um, and so I'm spending money for things that aren't guaranteed. uh, and I figure if for some reason it's not meant for me to make it into this event, I will have inventory to sell on my website. So I'm equivocating a little bit, but at the same time, I'm taking a faith step because the goal of what I'm doing now is to have a modest artist tent for my first time participating, if I make it in, and that I'm going to have a decent inventory to sell over 3 days. Um, in looking into this event, artists on average that are participating, and I think it's up to 150 that participate in this 3-day weekend event, average on about $18,000 in sales. And I'm thinking, holy cow, I'd be happy if I could make a modest amount. To me, that's gigantic, and I'm sure that's for those that are experienced in this type of event. I am not. I'm keeping my feet on the ground, but I'm hopeful that my preparations will prepare me enough to overcome the costs. Because once I've overcome the costs, then a lot of the stuff's reusable, and so it's only print inventory and whatever else that I determine in future events to sell for my artwork. But in any case, neither here nor there. But in any case, I wanted to share with you that I got art prints done up. And here, yeah, okay. And I bought a lot of prints, and most of them I'm pretty happy with. And the ones that I am not happy with, it's my fault, not the printer's fault. Um, and so I tried to keep the prints small in the 8 by 10 range. Some of them couldn't be that small without, edging out um, some of my artwork. Because being silly, I just put tape down on a piece of paper. I'm not measuring the actual artwork size, and I'm eyeballing it on some of these things. Not all of them, but some of them. And so they ended up being an oddball size. And in order for the whole artwork to show, I had to go a little bit bigger than 8 by 10. So I don't have a consistent 8 by 10 sizing of all my artwork for that reason. Lesson learned. I'm going to try to be more consistent with standardized sizing on a lot of these things. But in any case, I just thought I'd share with you some of what I've got. They came flat, but they've got a little bow to them. But you can see this was my very first um, watercolor piece. And this is real size. This is 8 by 8, but this is a print. I have the original of this for sale on my website at midlifeartist.com on my shop. So if you're interested in the original, it's an unmatted, unframed original that'll come to you. It would be the original on watercolor paper, but this is a print and it's a real good print. And so I've got this, my black one. I did a black rose, and then I did a yellow rose. And they're all 8 by 8, so they're at life size, so to speak. And I think a lot of people really like those. And so I'm going to attempt to show some of these prints. These are prints that I'm intending to use for, I'll take this off camera here, what I'm doing. For selling at tent events. But in the event that I'm not successful in selling all the prints that I had done, they will also eventually be listed on my website for sale. And I think I can successfully ship these with their backing boards. And that's what I'm doing right now, is taking the cellophane off of these backing boards. I bought backing boards. These are archival. I have a hard time saying that word, archival, and they're a heavy duty backing board. You can hear that, very thick, and I'm going to lay that on here, and then I'm going to wrap it in cellophane, and that is going to be a print for sale. I don't have 8 by 8 cellophane wrap, but I do have, my smallest size wrap is 8.4 times 10.2 inches. So I figure I will use that. Sorry for the weird noise. And see about putting some of these together and see how it goes. So this is what I have in stock for cellophane. So this is what I'm going to use. And I'm going to place these in. Now I'm wondering though, should I, on the back side, and this is a semi-gloss, you can see it shines a little bit. It's supposed to be semi-gloss, but I thought that would be better than matte paper. I'm wondering if I should put a identifier for title, or something on the back. That might be just a lot of extra work for the cost. These are supposed to be inexpensive um, prints that the average family that attends an art festival would buy. And so I'm going to see what it looks like if I go ahead, and then I would tape this shut, but there it is. So here we go. So that's like my first one. That would be what I would do with these others. And so I'm going to put those together, not all on camera, but I just wanted to show you my smallest ones. And again, this was my Rose series. This was the inaugural watercolors that I did coming out of, I hate to say it, the proverbial closet as an artist. I have been a degreed artist. I have a bachelor's in studio art from the University of New Hampshire, and never used it officially in any capacity until I started doing artwork in 2022. And this was the white one. Is a white rose from my sister-in-law's wedding bouquet. I loved it. It was beautiful. It inspired me, and you can tell the quality of work that went into it. I'm very proud of this. And I did it sitting at a recliner because I wasn't sure of myself, but it came out well. And so I did a yellow rose and a black rose, and I meant to do more roses, but then I was encouraged to do more than just these small paintings, and so I've been touching on a lot of things, but this I'm very proud of because it was what brought me out of the shadows of obscurity in terms of being an artist. And so, yeah, um, I'm proud of these. I think these will sell because I think a lot of people like smaller prints. They like roses, or at least females do. I'm female, so I get it. And so I've got quite a few of each color here, and that's what I'm going to be doing to prep. I want to show you some of the others that I plan to do this same process with. This was my first acrylic, my sunflower, and it is. I'm going to go back to my webcam here real quickly. Okay, but this was my first real acrylic. This is a painting that was 16 by 20, if I'm not mistaken, and it's currently up on the wall at the Artsy Teacher in nearby Cohutta, Georgia, for sale. It's framed. It's the original. And it's also one of the first paintings and the first time I participated in the Creative Arts Guild. And so this is based on a picture that I took of one of my sunflowers in the backyard. And down at the bottom here is actually a fly. Um, and he's represented as well. So this one turned out well for an 8 by 10. And so another flower. But let's see, all right. Let's see what else. Now these right here, this is my embrace based on my charcoal drawing. And this is 8 by 10, I think, or 8 by 12. And I did this on matte paper. You can see there's no gloss to it because it's based on a charcoal drawing. So I have those. And then this is obviously a print of my almost there charcoal drawing that made it into the Creative Arts Guild this year. And it's also on matte paper. So the charcoal pieces, they are on matte paper. Heavy duty. This is heavy duty art paper. Um, and then let's see what else do I got. Yep, those are all those. I also have, this is also going in this year's Creative Arts Festival exhibition. This is Fracture that I explained earlier. This is an 8 by 10. This turned out really good in a print. It's back on semi-gloss. I didn't make as many of those because I don't know how figures are going to sell at tent events. This is based on a graphite drawing I did of a lady in waiting. Let's see what else. And there's my owl. This was my first gouache, fully gouache painting. And I love owls. And this one looked incredulous in the royalty-free picture that I saw. And I thought, okay, I'm going to try gouache and I'm going to try painting him. And he's a favorite of mine. The original, I think, is on sale on my website at midlifeartist.com. It's unmatted and unframed. So that's how it would come to you, but it's the original on the watercolor paper. I'm going to be selling prints of these, obviously. And so I got those. That turned out okay. Now, some of the other ones that I have coming up didn't come out as well. And again, I said it was my fault, and it is because these were odd sizes, and I was trying to adjust the sizing, and I kept going bigger. And the original really wasn't as big as the print came out. So this is not as good as I had hoped. And I'm not sure, I may still put these for sale in the tent event at a discounted price because up close, they just, I don't know. This is my butterfly and mushroom. I love it. The original is in private collection and it's actually smaller than this print size. Um, and I originally did this for the Creative Arts Guild Art Fest children's tent and it didn't sell. And I'm like, that's okay. I want the original back. And then the original did sell. It did go into a private collection anyway. So I have a good digital copy. And this is a very long composition and narrow. And the more I look at it on the screen, it looks okay. But I just don't know. Um, like I said, I'll probably put these for sale in the tent event and see what happens. I mean, I don't know. Some people might be happy with that. It's still on semi-gloss, and that was a watercolor. Here's here's one that I submitted for the Creative Arts Guild, but it didn't make it. But that's okay, because the original, as I showed you earlier in the live stream, let me just make sure I'm working on time here. Yeah, all right, I'm on just under a half hour. Um, is my bumblebee. And this one I'm pretty happy with. Now, this one I'm going to struggle, I think, trying to find cellophane wrap. So I'm going to have to figure something out, but because this is a 12 by 12 print, it's about life size to the original. And it's on semi-gloss. You can see the gloss. And this one turned out really well. You can see some of the strokes and the scratch marks that I made with the oil pastel, because this is an oil pastel painting, or I never know what to call oil pastels. Are they paintings or are they drawings? You tell me, artists out there, what do you consider them to be? I sometimes say paintings, sometimes I say drawings, and well, it was drawn on and not painted with a paintbrush. So maybe it's an oil pastel drawing. Anyway, pretty happy. I like my bumblebee, even though I'm deathly afraid of flying, stinging things. He turned out pretty well, considering I did it in about an hour, hour and a half. So I'm pretty proud of him. And he turned out okay for the print. But like I said, I got the backing boards for all of these, except I don't have the wrapping cellophane that goes around because I don't have a size big enough for that. So we will see. Um, This is my purple rose. Up close, this print is also, this print is actually bigger than the original, you know, and like I said, with the other one, I'm looking at it on camera and it doesn't look so bad. But when I look at it in person, it seems a little blurred. So this is one of those, and I'm not sure I'm going to continue to offer, but I did spend money on it. Maybe I'll put it in for sale at the tent events and see what happens. But uh, some people may like that, and that's okay because that's what it's about. I'm going to have to go back to the printer on these. I only did 3 of these because I don't know how many people would like to have a print of this painting because it's kind of an odd subject matter. But this was on top of the pile of prints, and there's some scratches in this print that are not in the other two. And so to me, that's unacceptable. And I think it was in the packaging department more than anything. And it's only one print out of this whole order that got messed up. So I'm gonna have to ask them to see if they can send me one to replace this. But these were I'll just use one that's not scratched. There we go. I really am happy about this painting. Like I said, this one didn't make it into the Creative Arts Guild, but that's okay. Tent event it is. I even like my little comet. It's a tiny comet because it's up high in the sky. Comets are not large unless they're coming at you. And thankfully, that hasn't happened. We don't want that to happen. But yeah, so I only did 3 of those, and one of them is damaged. So I'm going to have to see if I can't get that replaced. Let's see what else. Oh, now this one turned out okay. This is a bigger one. Now, this one made it into my first ever Creative Arts Guild exhibition uh, 3 years ago. And it was matted and framed. I still have this. It didn't sell, it didn't win anything, but it was exhibited. So I'm pretty happy with that, considering it was the first year of me doing anything like that at the time as an artist. And this is a pen and ink, a print of a pen and ink. So it's on glossy paper. This turned out okay. But this is one of those weird sizes. Um, so we'll see how that goes. Uh, but some people like horses. And then, of course, I'm really happy with my Such a Time as This. This is Prince. This is, you can see this is a bigger print. Um, and this is Queen Esther or Hadassah. from scripture. And this is a painting I really worked on. Everything in this painting was deliberate. The iconography of the background is actually from the historical period for which Queen Esther and that story takes place. The brickwork and the color of the brickwork, this kind of brick coloring was also iconographic from that time period. I've got Hadassah in Hebrew and Stellara, which is in ancient Syrian. Oh shoot, I forget the language, but um, they're both indicative of her. And so I'm proud of this one. Um, and so I think this might sell, but then again, it's another figure. I don't know if that figure kind of sells at these events. Here's one that I'm not as happy about. I don't have the original of this. This actually sold at the kids event. Um, it's my knight in watercolor, and the knight was actually the original was a slightly smaller than what you're seeing here. And so up close, this seems kind of blurry, but now that I'm looking at it, it's not so bad. I do think some of it's missing. I had to cut it off. But this is a watercolor of a knight, and I sold this at the Children's Art Market the second year. Um, and pretty proud of representing metal with watercolor. And he's holding a shield here, if that, you know. And so, yeah, I thought this wasn't as good, but now that I'm looking at it under the light, and I'm thinking it'll be all right. Maybe I'm changing my mind. And so this is what I have for um, my first art. And now, some of you have been saying, like, where's your Gypsy Beauty? Where's your cowboy? And that's when I realized, I, I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't include those in my first order. Of course, I drafted this order of prints late at night because that's when I do my artistic work, whether it's creating something new or working on building my art business, so to speak. Um, and so when you're operating late at night, you're not going to remember everything. And and I had it in different folders on my computer. Um, so, so yeah, you can see I've got a decent, decent, um, modest inventory of prints, and I got to put all of these together in the same fashion of putting backer boards and wrapping in plastic. And then I got to put either pricing on them or signage of pricing. Um, in any case, I do have a tent. I bought one like either a year or 2 years ago. It's never been out of its original packaging, so it's never been used. But I figure at some point I probably have to do a tent event. And let's see here. I'm going to put my webcam back on. Make it bigger. There we go. There we go. But in any case, I actually have two more orders coming. I added my Gypsy Beauty, my Cowboy, um, a couple of other pen and inks. Um, Goodness gracious, there's a few that I'm working on getting, and so those are processing. Uh, and I'm hoping that I didn't make some of the same mistakes in those because I got this just today. And I've already got two other orders in play from previous nights. So uh, we'll see what happens. And I'm going to do as many of these as I can and get them ready to go. And I've got a 6-foot table, a 4-foot table. I've got the tent, but I don't have the tent walls. I don't have the hardware to hang artwork on the tent walls that I don't currently have. I've got tablecloths regular, but I understand most of these events would rather you use the stretchy tablecloths that attach to the legs. So I've got that on a wish list. What else? I don't have baskets to put these prints in on the table. I have on my wish list the canvas, not easel, but bin kind of thing to hold bigger prints. So some of these bigger prints would go in that, and some of the smaller prints would go in baskets on the table. And look, even though I've got a website and a shop, I don't have a mobile way of processing payments. So I had to look into that with my web provider because they offer that. And the lowest price option is with a mobile device that's a chip reader as well as one you can insert, but it has to work with uh, your mobile phone and their app. And my phones are prepaid phones. They're not the super duper $1,000 plus phones that a lot of people get with contracts. I don't have that kind of cash to spend on a phone, and so my phone is memory prohibitive. It doesn't have a lot of memory, so I actually have to really pick and choose what apps go on my phone in order for the phone to work properly. So I don't know how much space the app for the payment processing is going to need, but something's probably going to have to go off on my phone. And I'm pretty much down to the bare minimum of apps that I use faithfully without trying to tap into the system apps that come on the phone, which I wish I knew I could take off and which ones I could leave and not damage the phone. So, a lot of technology I still got to figure out. And that's if one, I have good signal at these events because it would have to depend on my signal strength with my provider, which I believe is Verizon. I use Patriot Mobile for my phone service, and I get on the Verizon system through them because that's usually the best option for me. And then the equipment's like $99 plus tax, and it's the bare minimum little thing. And there's no guarantee that it'll work or be compatible with my phone or so I got a lot of logistics I've got to figure out still. And some of it's IT, and that's just not my gig. I'm a buyer. I buy custom components for manufacturing for my employer. And then I'm an artist. Uh, I'm not an IT person. I've put together a website using the intuitiveness of my website provider where you can click and use a template, click and drag, replace pictures and things like that. It's not my best work, but it's definitely not, I don't think, amateurish. You tell me. You go to my website midlifeartist.com and tell me. I think I want to do more with my news and events page. I used to blog all the time online back in the day when I was still kind of a stay-at-home mom or early on in my career days. I did a lot of blogging because I was a journaler for a long time. And I'm thinking about doing an artist blog on my website, but I haven't gotten there either. There's just so much on my plate. And I want to get to a point where what I'm doing is one, secondhand or easy for me to accomplish. Thus, this is me doing my second live stream in as many days um, to practice and get used to it and get it working. I actually got it working much quicker this time than I did just the other day. So that tells me I'm making progress already, which is great. Um, but I definitely have a learning curve on a lot of things. And so like I said, I'm welcome to advice on this type of stuff. I'm trying to network with local community businesses, small businesses such as myself, locally, face to face. And I'm trying to do this online content thing, and it's such a challenge. I'm really living up to my name, midlifeartist.com. But in any case, I want to just say thanks to all those who have encouraged me, and I want to be specific for several people. One, my mom and my dad, um, and my husband. They're all right up there. My mom has always been encouraging, so has my dad. Um, and my mom has uplifted me in more ways than just encouragement. My dad is working to help me with this event in May, should I get past the juried process. He can't, he's not going to cover everything, and I wouldn't expect him to. This is me right now. This is all me. Uh, if I make it past the juried process, then there's going to be a big ticket or two of expense that comes with setup there. And that's what he's going to help me with. He lives in the near area over there in Greenville, South Carolina, and so he's going to be my heavy hitter support there. Um, pray that I can make it. I've got to get a tent event done before October, so I can take a picture of my tent setup. And I have to make it as professional in my modest budgetary way as possible because it's part of the submission process for this event. So yeah, I'm doing all this now just so I can get a photo of a hopefully modestly set up but professional looking tent to submit for this big event. Because I have a feeling this big event, should I make it, might help get me off the ground. Um, and I'd be real happy with that. I'm doing a lot of artwork. I love doing artwork, but I also would like it for it to be my side gig, my part-time income. Um, as much as I'm happy about the economy turning around, my income level and expenses haven't really changed. It's only been 6 months since the changeover in DC, so I'm not expecting much at this early game, but um, uh, reducing costs have been a challenge. So I have to work harder. Um, I tried getting a part-time job, knowing that doing the art thing, you know, is not for sure. And I couldn't get a part-time job even at my grocery store. I think probably because I'm a professional in the manufacturing industry and have been for decades. So they take one look at me and my application and think, what is she doing? And all I want is a part-time job on the weekends to bring in some extra income to kind of pay for some of this stuff. So, it's a struggle. You want to do more, or at least some of us do, to bring in extra income, even if it's temporary, to accomplish goals. Um, I want to be something as an artist. So anyway, I'm rambling. I'm rambling. So I apologize. But I want to thank all of you for watching. If you watched this far, thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for your support, however you express it, even with a comment, a like, or subscribe. Please visit my website, visit every page, share it out to your friends and family. I would be grateful. Everything I'm doing is costing money and it's a faith step. Everything I'm doing is a faith step. And I'm going to lean on that because I do walk by faith. And it hasn't failed me in the past. Um, and so I feel like it's promising, but it just feels like an uphill battle right now. And it's just early on. And like I said, I only came out in 2022 after decades of hiding in the shadows. So here I am trying. They say it's never too late, right? I'm trying to live that right now. So thank you again. I appreciate you walking this walk with me on a Saturday afternoon. And hopefully I'll do some more short form content. I'm going to do some more process or progress videos of some of my artwork because I always take progress photos of my artwork, and it makes for great, slideshow kind of how it came together, and we'll go from there. So thanks again. This is Stephanie. I'm also known as Watercolor Artiste, and my website is midlifeartist.com. And I dabble in a lot of media. Watercolor is obviously a mainstay. I work in acrylic and oil, but I've also used pen and ink and charcoal, and I have dabbled in oil pastel recently, and all of it's fun. Um, and I'm not sure where my style is going to take me, but I appreciate the support. Thank you for joining in, and have a good rest of the weekend.